I think I found them. Both the boy and the girl. Zach and Ashley.
That's us.
Is this where you kids have been the last day? I'm gonna have to take you back to where you belong. Your parents have been buried.
What the fuck? What the hell?
What are you saying? I can't hear. I can't hear what you're saying. What do you?
No. I'm not letting you in. I'm not dealing with this today. No.
You have to open the window.
Yeah, the window is shut. That's the whole idea, is that the window is shut so that you can't speak to me and I can't hear you and you're not in here because the window is closed. That's the whole point. I don't need this in my life today. I really don't need this fucking shit. Wait, where the fuck is he? Oh, shit.
You don't watch cartoons.
Fine.
Yay! Oh, and you know what? I have the perfect thing to watch on this very special occasion.
What makes the occasion special?
Well, today's the anniversary of the first time we watched MegaMan Star Force Tribe.
Wait, you can't have an anniversary for something that hasn't happened. MegaMan Star Force as a series has come around during a difficult point for the MegaMan brand. Sales were never all that strong to begin with, but they were flagging more and more as the decade moved on, and the Star Force series itself was no exception. We haven't really covered manga much on this channel, but there was a set of manga produced to go along with the series much in the same way as the anime, and in fact the manga ultimately lasted longer in the end, though not by much. And as far as the anime goes, things have been chugging along for a long time. Aside from a 7-month break before the start of MegaMan NT Warrior Access, the NT Warrior and Star Force series would, by the end of this season, have put out new episodes nearly every single week for over 6 consecutive years. 288 episodes in total. And the numbers there were slowing too. So, in the face of its eventual demise, Xebec went to task on putting together what would ultimately be the final series of MegaMan anime we'd see until, well, forever as of 2023. And it was sort of a tiny season too. Similar to the end of NT Warrior's run, we once again have half-sized episodes alongside a shrunken season, this time just 21 10-minute episodes. The first minute of which was always, well, this. This is the shortest season made for either NT Warrior or Star Force, so let's get to it. This is MegaMan Star Force Tribe. Or, since this never got a Western release, kind of like the last half of NT Warrior, Ryuusei no Rockman Tribe. We open on a private jet.
We're gonna cry! Oh, we're fine.
So that was Moo. It'll be back someday. Anyway, Bob Copper and his vacuum crew show up at the Echo Ridge Museum with a bunch of Amaken guns, ready to blow up some viruses. Turns out there had been quite a lot left over after dealing with the FM King, but noticeably these new viruses weren't ones that existed on the FM planet. Instead, these apparently evolved on Earth.
Meanwhile, Bud and Zach are spending the day trying to materialize matter wave food because they're tiny children with even tinier brains. It does lead to a cute moment where Luna wishfully tries to materialize MegaMan only for Geo to walk into the room.
Rockman の正体はスバルなんだぞ。
委員長もあの時目撃したじゃないですか。いいえ、見てません。押川くんがロックマン様だなんて私は認めません。
Basically, Tom is working on making the next generation of Star Carrier and inventing matter waves, allowing for all sorts of projected matter to be made real, like an umbrella, which you still need a handle for. So wait, are these like Wii peripherals?
This room being for matter wave testing does mean omega-xis can materialize himself just to fuck with them. Boy, hope that comes back someday.
Anywho, the kids head off to a Moo exhibit where Geo and omega-xis see an odd light in the sky, as well as one emanating from an ancient relic known as the Sword of Zerker. Shortly after their arrival, however, viruses begin appearing in the museum, prompting Geo and omega-xis to wave change into MegaMan to fight them off.
Amidst the chaos, another EM being called Yeti Blizzard arrives to take the sword, only to be shot at by yet another EM being, Dark Phantom. Turns out these two arrive by plane and by boat respectively with the specific intent of collecting the sword for themselves, but despite working together from the start in the games, they don't know each other at all here.
The sword falls, with both EM beings and Mega Man diving after it, trying to catch it before it hits the ground, only for omega-xis to accidentally swallow it. Yeti Blizzard and Dark Phantom retreat, we get a quick next time segment with no real closing theme, and that's it. 9 minutes. Actually, more like 8.5 if we're being honest. How many episodes of this show are there?
21.
So there's only like 3 hours of the show altogether.
Yes.
But we've had series that ran way longer than that.
Yes.
Access and Stream are both like 18 hours apiece. Okay. Well, Geo just kind of goes home in the next episode, and while Sonia's here and Cancer Bubble runs around calling Geo's mom Geo Mommy, oh god, no, stop. Hope mentions helping with Sonia's leg the other day. So, wait, is this like right after the first season? God damn, these guys can't catch a break.
If you think what he calls her is bad, she calls him Kanbag-chan in return. I guess that's a little better than sweet little Cancer.
So, in the very brief interim between seasons, Cancer Bubble has been hired as Sonia's sort of attendant, following her around and keeping tabs on the flighty pop star. Geo likewise finds himself suddenly under the employ of another, as Bob Copper is instructed to drive Geo to meet, hi there, Hollow. What a weirdly casual way to introduce this guy, especially compared to the games.
Geo is there to meet with Dr. Vega, a scientist who is well aware of Geo's identity as Mega Man and can see omega-xis thanks to a pair of visualizer contact lenses, a thing that exists apparently. It turns out that the FM King's energy released the seal on a lost continent called Mu, whose people once harnessed EM waves to create the ultimate scientific civilization. The peak of their invention was a being known as Mu.
Unfortunately, Mu quickly began to see itself as a god, prompting the people of Mu to seal the continent away with an EM space, where its people slowly died out one by one.
The meat and potatoes here is that Vega knows Yeti Blizzard and Dark Phantom's names, but not their human identities, and knows they're after the 3 ancient relics that can break the seal on Mu, known as OOPArts.
OOPArts?
OOPArts.
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 How many more times do you think we have to say it to catch up to the game and the show?
How much time do you have left?
Am I supposed to know that?
Vega enlists Geo to stop Yeti Blizzard and Dark Phantom and claim the OOPArts himself to keep them out of their hands, but the meeting is abruptly concluded by the arrival and attack of Rogue, a monster of an EM being who teleports around very quickly and breaks through shields with ease.
omega-xis is creeped out by Rogue, and rightly so, since he can apparently reach into Mega Man to try to steal the Zerker sword, until Vega has Hollow activate a jamming beam to paralyze him. Vega brings Geo home and asks him to think about their conversation, and he tries to call Sonia for advice, but she's too busy keeping creeps from looking at her underwear while she bungee jumps. Very normal stuff.
Aaron Boreal recognizes Dr. Vega as a famous scientist immediately, and has Geo leave omega-xis at Amiken overnight to analyze him now that the Zerker sword is in his body. At the same time, Tom is having the kids materialize hammers and attack these adorable balls! Leave them alone, you short little wieners!
The readings on omega-xis aren't very comforting, as the energy signatures are so high that they can't even properly be measured. The Zerker sword has completely assimilated with omega-xis, which is totally safe according to Boreal. Totally don't worry about it.
Sonia, meanwhile, is getting pretty antsy. She misses being Harp Note, and she thinks she and Geo should go look for the OOPArts together, with Cancer Bubble wanting to join and help her out too.
Hell, when Solo appears and uses the ancient star carrier to turn into Rogue without an outside EM being, Sonia is actually the first one to get a long transformation sequence before Geo for messing up the stage for her upcoming performance. Cancer Bubble also has a bit of fun here too, but gets knocked out pretty quickly. Twice.
Rogue is pretty quick to T-pose all over this fight, knocking Sonia entirely out of her EM wave change and clearly defeating Mega Man, stomping omega-xis into the dirt and readying his blade to pierce straight through him when the Zerker sword activates. Buy this toy! 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 Buy this toy!
And so we get the latest OP stomp tactic of the series, Tribe On. While in the games it's a useful way to add serious firepower to your various battle cards, here it's a short burst Deus Ex Machina, literally. Rogue escapes, Geo decides to help Dr. Vega, and serial killer music plays over the final shot of her and Hollow following the call. Definitely not suspicious at all.
Well, now that the basic premise has been set up, it's time to spend more time with our supporting cast. In the next pair of episodes, we focus on Rich Dotcom, who continues his trend of buying absolutely everything in sight if he can.
He spent some time trying and failing to buy a village in the Himanala region, but the village chief and his very Trill-like assistant decline, leaving him out in the snow.
Perhaps what's drawn him here in particular is the news that some descendants of the residents of Mu settled in this area, meaning another OOPArt might be close by.
Gio is also hot on the trail and goes to visit the old man and his assistant. Hey, is this supposed to be Amy Galland and her dad? Oh, never mind, she's apparently Lana, and Sonia is jealous when she arrives.
It turns out some Yeti-like monster has been destroying nearby areas like the shrine, possibly in search of a legendary cave system deep within the mountains, which allegedly house an underground capital built by the descendants of Mu. Of course, he may very well also be trying to attract Mega Man's attention to give ambush to him when he gives chase.
To Gio's surprise, the village chief ultimately reveals that he and his people are not in fact descendants of Mu, but inherited their legends in their honor after they had faded away.
Everyone shut the fuck up! Sonia's on some kind of idol show, anxiously fucking up her answers and ditching because she's trying to get back into the action. Her competition is, of course, extremely skilled.
Okay, well, back where the actual episode is taking place, Mega Man discovers an old wave road in the mountains, and Yeti Blizzard follows, which leads to a three-way fork in the road. Mega Man goes right, Yeti Blizzard goes left, and Harp Note gets there first. How did she get here? Did she go straight?
The old don't put any puzzles in, just confuse them into overthinking that there's a puzzle there puzzle. It's my favorite puzzle.
That's not a puzzle.
It's my favorite puzzle!
Okay, that explains a lot.
Once everyone's finally in the same room, a quick fight ensues, but the Mu ruins turn out to be completely empty. As Yeti Blizzard stomps hard enough to make rocks fall on everyone, we do get this ice-cold delivery. But then Mega Man zerks out and crushes him anyway, and Rich's limo is impaled like he pissed off Superman.
Now let's check in on Hyde. See, it turns out Hyde is an experienced painter of extremely off-putting art. What the fuck? Please seek help immediately.
It's a shame you don't see the beauty in his art, as he sees the beauty in Phantom on their first meeting sometime in the past.
Hey, wait a second. Where do these EM beings come from anyway? They're not from Mu in the show, so were they also from Planet FM and just didn't give a shit during the last season? This doesn't make any sense.
Hey, look over there! A cute bunny virus is giving soda to the people! Revolution! Revolution! Aw, man, the fucking cops are here to take back the soda.
Dr. Vega calls Gio to send him off to the pyramids in search of an OOPArt, and Hollow looks like he's playing a winter game for the Pats.
As Phantom starts fucking with Mega Man by throwing snakes and skeletons.
Oh, you. You'll know, Hollow.
Gio panics like a little big baby bitch slathered in coward sauce. Omega-xis bites him to calm him down, which works. You're welcome. Hey, Hyde, show us your new catchphrase!
OOPArts. No parts.
Phantom cleverly suggests Hyde EM wave change with him to allow him to run through walls, but when he does, Mega Man confronts him and they fight. Thunder Zerker, of course, gives Mega Man the upper hand, but the sword eventually starts moving on its own, slicing up the ruins and allowing Dark Phantom to escape.
Hell, the sword almost kills Gio before it pulls him out of the pyramid and through the desert towards the Sphinx. Kid's getting dragged around by both hands now.
While Gio and Omega-xis regroup and talk with Boreal, Rogue arrives and starts getting down to business, showing off some real Shadow the Hedgehog energy. Nothing personnel, kid.
Their fight breaks open a mural that Dark Phantom notices a hidden passage behind, but Mega Man's got bigger fish to fry as Rogue starts using teleporting bullets to nail him from behind.
At this point, Gio enters some kind of trance? Or Evangelion? What is this place? Omega-xis is forced to puppeteer Mega Man's body while Gio watches and tries to figure out how to shift this massive Zerker sword before him. But when Omega starts getting hurt, Gio intuits how to use the sword and we're back in business, baby! Very Sword in the Stone, and man, we keep getting saved microseconds from death.
Dark Phantom shoots his shot and runs to get the OOPArt, only to discover what he actually found was a back exit from the pyramid.
それではチャオ
なんだ?
Alright, so we've more or less got our main players situated. Now let's see what happens as the other OOPArts enter the fray, in the very loose kind of second act of the story. First up, we get a two-parter focusing on Loch Ness, which Rich bought in order to search for the nearby OOPArt.
Zack is desperate to find the mysterious Messi, and Geo thinks it's worth checking out because of the strange occurrences nearby. A CMM news crew is there to reveal the truth about Messi being a hoax, only for Rich to interrupt and say it's real in order to drum up tourism for the area.
All this commotion causes the EM being Plesio to appear, trying to make everyone go away and stop disrupting the waters, from Rich convincing people Messi is real to Jerry Romero declaring the monster a fake.
Yeti Blizzard tries fighting the wave-changed Plesio surf, but gets beaten and knocked aside with ease, as Sonia arrives, annoyed that Geo never told her about the trip.
A quick powwow with Plesio reveals that there's a temple underneath the lake with an incredibly powerful stone contained within, and they will be given the stone willingly if Geo and Sonia can bring peace and quiet back to his home, which, yeah, that sounds good.
Unless the bad guy of the episode is a Captain Planet villain with loudly polluting construction equipment everywhere you look. Plesio Surf naturally attacks the site, and Rich plans for MegaMan to appear and fight, which of course he does, using it as a distraction so he can get to the temple in his little submarine.
Rich does ultimately collect the Stone of Saurian, which has a watery aura of Messi for some reason, and Plesio releases Jerry Romero from the wave change now that no one will see Messi anymore and no one will disturb its lake. What the fuck is even happening anymore?
Don't expect it to get much better, because the next two episodes are basically pointless. Overall, they exist to make sure one of the boss characters doesn't get left out entirely and has no bearing on the plot whatsoever.
Vega tells Geo an OOPArt may be near WhatsApp, somewhere Sonia wishes to go, and Luna as well, so she can learn to make an international dish from the locals. Literally, Sonia is so ready for adventure that when Geo tells her he's going to WhatsApp, she's in his home 3 seconds later.
In WhatsApp, Geo and Sonia meet the locals, who use the name of the country as a greeting, much like in Alola, and much less funny in Japanese than it would be in English.
These guys also used to make human sacrifices for the Harvest Festival, but they don't anymore. Hooray! The shaman's bird chooses Luna for this year's event, and when the shaman goes to inform their god, Condor suddenly appears from a torch and forcibly wave changes with him, turning him into the murderous Terra Condor.
Cancer Bubble witnesses all of this and is caught by Terra Condor. Not that he seems to do anything to him, before swooping away and carving the WhatsApp lines with his lasers.
It's pretty straightforward. MegaMan eventually uses the wave road to get high enough to fight him, weakens Terra Condor by reminding the shaman of a gift of flowers once given by some year's chosen one, and after zerking off, the final strike frees the shaman for good, who now opts to worship MegaMan instead. Episode ends on Geo feeling anxious about eating chicken. Har har.
Meanwhile, back where the plot lives, Zack convinces the group to take a trip deep into the mountains to join him at a hidden ninja village.
Wait, hold on. Just because you can't see us on every street corner like dipping donuts doesn't mean that we're endangered. I mean, some of us are just very, very good at doing our jobs.
Wait, did you say Dippin' Donuts?
Yeah, Dippin' Donuts, the most popular donut and coffee franchise in New England.
I don't think that's...
Smoke bomb!
I think you're supposed to...
You can't see me. Oh, fuck.
At the Hidden Ninja Mansion, they're greeted by the clan's leader, a man named Jackie Hanzo. A combination of Hattori Hanzo and Jackie Chan? Anyway, Zack in particular wants to learn to be a ninja. Because he's short enough to hide in plain sight anywhere.
I will hide under that gut and end your life with the glorious shuriken, you big shit!
Interestingly enough, Sonia and Cancer Bubble beat the group here and have already been training under Hanzo, proving their skill with basic ninjutsu.
And not without cause, as anyone who completes Hanzo's training will be awarded the wondrous Spring Roll Scroll. All they have to do is hit him with a single shuriken, or grab the scroll themselves. They cannot.
Sonia and Cancer Bubble have to leave before things can wrap up, but the class size doesn't shrink any as Hyde and Rich both arrive, the former wanting to learn about ninjas in general, and the latter wanting to buy the place outright.
Not helping either is the mention of the Ninja Clan's founder originating from Mu, not long before Dr. Vega calls Geo to inform him that an OOPArt is nearby.
As the training continues, the group is made aware of the Tiger Roll, a particularly sacred scroll for the clan, which is bestowed only to the next leader.
Despite Hyde and Rich having the perfect opportunity to consummate their carnal desires in a wooden room like they've always dreamed, they both sneak off into the darkness to find the scroll.
Meanwhile, Geo is also searching for the OOPArt in the mansion, and the three of them run into a multitude of ninja traps. Most are unsuccessful, but a few
Eventually, Jackie discovers Hyde and Rich skulking around in the dark and expels them at once, even managing to hold his own surprisingly well against both Yeti Blizzard and Dark Phantom at the same time. One-on-one, he might have been victorious, but outnumbered, it was just a matter of time.
Working together, Geo and omega-xis do successfully find the OOPArt, but just a moment before Rogue arrives, followed by Yeti Blizzard and Dark Phantom.
As the OOPArts are all together for the first time in ages, EM viruses start appearing all around the mansion, prompting Luna to use the best matter wave of all, again.
And worse than that, Mu itself arrives, visible for more than a moment for the first time. Rogue races to shatter the portal, but it ultimately sucks him in. And both MegaMan and Yeti Blizzard are frozen thanks to the OOPArts they already held, allowing Dark Phantom to freely claim the Tiger Roll scroll for himself.
The portal soon vanishes, and Dr. Vega is openly upset with Geo, calling him useless and hanging up to show what a tiny little wiener dog he is. Oh, and the kids earn the Spring Roll scroll for their hard work.
Well, like it or not, the pieces are finally falling into place. Geo has the Zerker Sword, Rich has the Saurian Stone, and now Hyde has the Ninja Shuriken.
And now with Rogue out of the way, Geo is as vulnerable as ever, with both of them aiming to take the OOPArts from both him and each other in order to gain access to the continent of Mu.
Now, unlike the first two acts, this one follows a pretty continuous storyline. The final 7 episodes follow a single narrative through to the end.
Dr. Vega is clearly pissed off while discussing the situation with Geo, telling him Rich and Hyde will be coming for him and the Zerker Sword. But what he doesn't know is that Vega intends to let the confrontation happen so she can strike while they all do battle.
And they don't have to wait long either. The fighting starts immediately on the nearby highway between Yeti Blizzard and Dark Phantom. Obviously, the two of them are seeking to claim the other's OOPArt, but when MegaMan arrives, they agree that since his goal is to seal Mu away instead of reveal it, they should focus their attention on him for the time being.
And when the nearby clock tower strikes 3, Hyde begins to panic over needing to be somewhere, giving MegaMan just enough of an opening to damage Yeti Blizzard, forcing the confrontation to a close for the time being.
So, unlike in the games, Hyde's entire motivation here is that he wants eternal life so he can live to see his artwork appreciated, and what he left that task to attend to was an art class with the Echo Ridge students in his very creepy dungeon.
We do get this oddly detailed shot of a fly landing on the camera during the still life lesson with a skeleton in boxer shorts holding a rotting meatball though, so he's got that going for him.
小さいうちに本物に触れる方がいい。私という真の芸術に。
Hyde actually seems to be fairly respected as an art teacher despite his dark eccentricities. If he focused on that, he'd probably be fine.
And Luna made sweet potato snacks for everyone, which they all seem to enjoy. Maybe even too much.
No, for real though, at the next class that same day by a graveyard, okay, the students reveal one by one that learning art was originally the goal, yes, but once they realized how strange and depressing and bad Hyde's art was, Luna's snacks became their sole reason for going.
She did it!
On the other side of town, Geo has the misfortune of Rich's limo driving past, causing the OOPArt in Yeti's possession to respond. omega-xis notices this with the Zerker Sword as well, but not in time for Geo to not be identified by Rich, resulting in what has to be the most awkward animation of someone carrying a briefcase I've ever seen.
On Yeti's insistence, Rich decides to try buying the Zerker Sword off of Geo, who, wait, are we doing this animation a second time? No, it's so bad.
But it's clear during the exchange that, no, stop getting more cases, he's not going for it. He's having trauma flashbacks. Look at the boy!
Inevitably, Geo tells him to fuck his bitch-ass self right in the behind mouth, which means it's go time, hobby horse boys. The OOPArts all being so close to each other makes viruses come out of every orifice, and we finally see Aaron Boreal and Bob Copper again. Huh, must be the end of the season coming up.
Over at the graveyard, a dejected Hyde overhears Luna spilling the beans on who MegaMan is, hey, and realizes Geo's mom has joined his class.
A perfect opportunity. He already wanted her to back that dump truck up to an easel and learn to paint.
With her hands, not her dump truck.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. If he makes her do that, I will be suing for copyright infringement.
そのオーパーツってやつら、今一人の少年がそれを封印しようと戦っています。それは
MegaMan and Yeti Blizzard duke it out in a soccer stadium until Hyde demands that Geo come to the graveyard to save his mother before it's too late. Despite trying to get there as quickly as possible, Yeti Blizzard just won't let go of MegaMan's leg, so he literally drags him all the way there.
Hyde obviously hasn't actually kidnapped Hope just yet, and she sits politely while the class officially ends until he begs her to stay and be his model for just one last painting. Baby, stay. I'm so hard to please, being a tortured artist and all. When my husband gets back from space, he's gonna beat your ass. 2-on-1, my favorite.
When MegaMan finally does arrive, Hope Stellar recognizes him immediately as the delivery boy. You remember from the last season? It doesn't matter. Anyway, at this point, knowing the jig is up, Hyde transforms and does actually kidnap Hope and starts legitimately being a devious motherfucker about it, casually throwing her off buildings and catching her, as well as using her as a human shield to prevent MegaMan and Harp Note from attacking him.
Ass,
Booty, booty,
ass,
booty, booty,
ass,
booty, booty,
ass,
booty,
ass,
booty,
ass,
booty,
ass,
booty,
ass,
booty, booty,
ass,
booty,
ass,
booty,
ass, ass,
booty,
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 ass,
booty.
Like, I don't want to tell you two how to do your jobs or anything, but 2-on-1 you can kind of, flank him. Instead, Dark Phantom outmaneuvers them with ease and they're none the wiser.
その人を離しなさい。
話せ話していいのかな
Very poor choice of words.
Amazingly, in a surprise little twist, right as Dark Phantom is about to truly demolish MegaMan, Yeti Blizzard is back on the scene, declaring that he will be the one to beat MegaMan and take the Zerker sword.
They're all interrupted, however, by the arrival of Vega and Hollow, who very fucking casually decks Yeti Blizzard, delivers a nothing personnel of his own, and pulls the Saurian Stone right out of him, before taking the Ninja Shuriken out of Dark Phantom as well.
Upon receiving 2 of the OOPArts, Dr. Vega begins to laugh triumphantly as she reveals the costume she wears in Mega Man Star Force 2 as Lady Vega. She plans to release Lemu, overrunning and overwriting their world to create a new one. And to go along with this grievous betrayal, Vega sicks Hollow on Mega Man to take his Zerker sword as well.
MegaMan may not go down without a fight, but he's not exactly putting up much of one either. For reasons he can't figure out, none of his attacks seem to be affecting Hollow at all, so MegaMan opts to take the fight somewhere else to regroup and think, which has some interesting results.
See, Hollow doesn't immediately go after MegaMan, with Lady Vega grumpily ordering him back to the car, where he rides up top like a stone-cold badass as they both tail the blue bomber.
It isn't until MegaMan spots an odd purple EM cable connecting him to her car that everyone puts it together at once. Hollow is more or less an elaborate matter wave powered by Vega's limo. What?
Doesn't matter why, just shoot it!
MegaMan is able to slash at Hollow once he's been untethered, and at long last he has taken serious damage. Until Vega embeds her 2 OOPArts into him, healing him instantly and causing the 3 OOPArts in very close proximity to summon and open the gate to Moo, pulling MegaMan inside. Uh-oh.
Oh, and if you're wondering what happened to Rich and Hyde, they essentially decide now, with less than 30 minutes left in the series, to opportunistically join Vega, which may be for the best because Bob is hot on their trail.
As viruses start spewing out of Moo, Hollow goes through the portal, followed soon after by Dark Phantom and Yeti Blizzard, with Bob Copper hanging on to him for dear life. For a second, anyway. At this point, knowing Hollow will be essentially invincible in the realm of Moo with 2 OOPArts, omega-xis begs Geo to pulse out and escape, leaving him and the Zerker sword behind.
A lovely gesture, but of course Geo says no, gets knocked out, and lies there unconscious as omega-xis distracts Hollow with the sword anyway.
And when he does wake up, he finds himself struggling to fend off giant viruses alone until help arrives in the form of Harp Note. Oh, also Vega is there somehow? And she, Yeti Blizzard, and Dark Phantom find Lemu.
Geo and Harp Note manage to stumble into a room where Rogue rests in stasis and accidentally release him. This is his bed, and they ruined everything. Also, he sealed himself here to keep everyone away from the also sealed Lemu, and he races off to stop Lady Vega. Aw man, he's not the bad guy at all in this series, is he?
Not so much, especially after Hollow nails omega-xis and takes the sword at last, allowing the bad guys to claim all 3 OOPArts. Oddly enough, it's only at this very moment that Yeti and Phantom start getting cold feet about the whole plan, prompting Rich and Hyde to decide to continue what they started.
Yeti Blizzard, Dark Phantom, and Hollow set the 3 OOPArts into the nearby pillars, beginning the the awakening of Lemu. Rogue arrives to stop Lady Vega, but he's too late, and Hollow begins to fight him.
Surprisingly, Bob Copper actually gets to really participate in this one, climbing across the rock wall to try and pull the Zerker sword out to stop Lemu, only to be grabbed by Dark Phantom and— oh, that little antenna is a top knot. I get it now. What? It looks like a little light. What was I supposed to think of that?
You are no son of mine.
Yep.
Cancer Bubble even shows up to assist, and I can't help but wonder if the young boy from Season 1 is okay in there. We literally haven't seen Cancer Bubble out of wave change this entire time. Is he alright?
Omega-xis lies weak and exhausted just above a pool of primordial ooze that slowly consumes him as fuel for Lemu's awakening. But Geo finally makes it to the fight, not having any way of teleporting himself, and dives in after him, wave-changing back into Mega Man and making a beeline for the sword.
Hollow is busy kicking Rogue's ass off, but throws him aside to stop Mega Man, only for Bob Copper to shoot him with the jammer gun, distracting him just long enough for the sword to be freed, and the audience to catch 3 whole seconds of the Ninja and Saurian forms as they too are absorbed by Mega Man in his transformation into Tribe King form.
Hollow literally can't even hurt Mega Man at all. I mean, look at this.
Back on the outside, Luna finally accidentally admits to herself that Geo, not some separate Mega Man, is giving his all to save the world. Yay! Hooray! And Mega Man's Tribe King abilities completely obliterate Hollow, leaving Vega alone as Bob tries to arrest her.
Unfortunately, Lemu's awakening cannot be stopped, and it begins trying to climb out of Mu and into the other world, only for Rogue to stand in its way, fighting back and demanding that Mega Man destroy the portal.
He uses some kind of, triangle attack? I don't know, it doesn't hit Rogue, but it hits Lemu, and the portal closes with both of them inside. Hooray! The day is saved, and Rogue is most assuredly dead or dying. Woohoo!
That was kind of a sudden finale. Lemu wasn't even directly fought, really, or defeated, and with 1 minute left on the clock, we immediately jump to some closing shots with music as the kids, Hope, Cancer Bubble, and Pat? Hi. Go off to see Sonya performing live.
And as the final shot, Omega-xis has Geo put on his visualizer to see the cast of Season 1 is also there, with their dead EM partners as well? Wait, what?
And that was Mega Man Star Force Tribe. It was an odd little show. It's strange. This season feels as disconnected from the source material as NT Warrior Access, Stream, or even Beast Plus. But in the case of Access and Stream, they were crafting this epic 100-episode mega arc loosely inspired by the events of Battle Network 4 and 5. Beast Plus was sort of a strange mixture of Battle Network 6 leftovers and network transmissions set in an alternate dimension. But even still, they were doing something with it even despite its shorter length. Here, though, I don't know. Strictly speaking, they did have a plot revolving around Geo ultimately discovering and stopping the plans of Lady Vega to awaken Lemu for complete domination, but so little else of this show felt like it was really inspired or adapted from Star Force 2.
The cast for this season was tiny, basically being Geo, Sonya and Rogue, Luna, Bud and Zack, Rich and Hyde, and Vega and Hollow. And all of the villainous characters had near 180 shifts from how they operated in Star Force 2. Rich and Hyde had nothing to do with Vega or each other until literally the last possible second, and Lady Vega spent just as long this season concealing her role behind her position as a genius scientist rather than waiting in the shadows until the moment was right. We don't find out much about Hollow at all, but it's not hard to imagine that he wasn't as personally close with Vega as he was in the games, and Rogue was trying to stop everyone from the very beginning rather than forming a tenuous arrangement until it was no longer convenient.
And like with Beast Plus, this season was extremely short. Like I mentioned at the start, this season's 3-hour runtime is the shortest across all 8 seasons of the 2 anime combined. It felt like there was so little to latch on to, because it was over just as quick. Aside from Vega and Hollow, the series only featured 2 other bosses from the game for more than a 20-minute pair of episodes. And along with having no real explanation for the appearance of Plesio and Condor, they're just as soon forgotten once defeated. In some ways, it felt like a season made out of obligation rather than passion. And when the sales of the remaining series started to flag, it's no wonder they never brought it back for a 3rd season. It's odd to think about how these two series progressed over time, with them starting as direct adaptations of the game series they were based on, and then swinging hard in the opposite direction, using the same characters but finding new plots for them to explore, and then finding a middle ground for them to ride out for the rest of the journey.
Well, I guess now that the show is finally over, I can be honest with you and tell you the truth. I'm actually an EM body. I'm a ghost animal from another dimension, or outer space, or underwater, or 12,000 years ago. All stuffed into this human body, complete with beard and all 5 testicles.
The fuck? Are you serious?
No, I'm not serious, you moron! Oh my god, I knew you were an idiot, but I didn't think you were a complete slack-jawed fuckwit. Gonna eat his fucking video games and drink his drugs, choose this idiot's house to come over to, didn't even wanna, but I had to. I mean, seriously, dude, I have been here for so many hours, and I thought I would have seen a modicum of intellect from you, but you are just a dumb, guzzling womp. I'm unsurprised.
Well, it's been a wild ride. 8 seasons of MegaMan NT Warrior and MegaMan Star Force. But, as they say, all good things must come to an end.